Welcome to the show. My name is Jeremy Poole, and I'm the host of The Moment on Real Estate Social, where we explore and celebrate the necessary transformational process you must go through to achieve a high level of success. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we're in Tacoma, Washington. We have a very, very interesting guest. His name is Daniel Beer, and he's the CEO and owner of Beer Home Team of EXP in California. Daniel, welcome to the show, brother.
Hey, man. Good to see you.
Thank you. Now, I'm not sure if you guys know who he is. He's an absolute rock star, one of the top guys in Southern California. Did like, what, 164 million last year?
164 million sold. That was over 222 transactions in San Diego.
Wow.
We
in San Diego alone?
All in San Diego.
Jeez. Holy smokes, brother. All right. So let's get into the meat of it. As you know, the show's called The Moment. What would you consider or characterize as being your defining moment or series of moments that have allowed you to sort of catapult from where you were to now where you are today?
Oh, man. Well, yeah, for me, what just absolutely stands out is the moment that put me on the path and the journey that got me here today.
Yeah.
Was actually the market crash.
Sure.
Of all things, it was the market crash. You go back to 2007, the San Diego market had already been transitioning, especially in the extreme high end of the market, which is all I did at the time.
Okay.
I was just doing friends and family deals and, doing 5 deals a year or so, and
Yeah.
I thought I was a hot shot, because they were all high price point.
Sure.
But about the end of 2005, the market starts to change. 2006, the change was deep, and 2007, that part of the world had already shifted big time. And that friends and family business just goes away.
Right.
Completely done. My business is over. There's nothing to do. Dad's friends aren't calling anymore. And that was a big wake-up call because I either had to build a business,
Yes.
or I had to get out of the way.
Right.
And it's sometimes I'm hesitant to share that the market crash is literally what I feel I owe my whole career to.
Right.
Because so many people were devastated during the crash. My own family suffered during it.
Yeah.
Those were crazy, stressful days. But there was a clear moment in which I had to decide to build a business, build predictable revenue, cash flow,
Wow.
a lead source that
Wow.
was systematically, built.
Sure.
Or I had to go, right? I had to leave.
That's incredible. So when you say that you had to make that shift from just dinking around selling homes to building a business, I'd imagine that's more than just a mindset shift. You had to become incredibly intentional about how you marketed, how you dealt with customers. Kind of talk to us a little bit about that in terms of some key changes that you made to go from hobby to a real business.
Well, just to be clear on how heavy a moment this was for me, okay, it literally got to the point where I went to pay my rent and only found out that there was no money in the account. Right? Like literally just dead broke.
Sure.
It's late 2007, I have zero in the bank. And fortunately, it's one of these divine intervention things. One of those credit card checks. You know how the credit card, I don't know if they even still do this or not, but the credit cards, they would send checks in the mail.
Right.
You could essentially write a check, but it was coming off the card. And one had arrived. That's how I paid my rent that month.
Wow.
Fortunately, I was able to scrounge a deal together. I got some cash. And the way in which I became purposeful, as you asked about how did we start generating leads and actually turn this thing around, was, for me, it was all, it was actually a journey that first I went into the debt settlement space, where I started selling debt settlement leads of all things for a guy, only to find out that the leads were crap. They were like literally just bad information. We were essentially stealing money from people.
Interesting.
So I stepped away, but that really showed me, that showed me the power of what you could do with lead generation and with internet lead generation. That if you could get someone to put their name, number, and email into a form online, you could literally turn that into cash. So with the only dollars I had remaining, I built what at the time was one of the only true lead generation sites in the area. This is now going into like late 2008 into 2009 as I'm going through this whole discovery period.
Interesting.
Well, think about what people's websites used to be, right? They were just vanity sites with a picture of them and thumbs up and a cowboy hat and like their dog, and that was a real estate website.
That was it.
And I tore that one down and built what today I guess they would call it more of a stealth site. It was a search-oriented site. It wasn't about how cool Dan is, but it was just about, do you want to find a home, search here.
Right.
And I started generating leads.
Love it.
And I started generating enough eventually that
Now you're here.
I never left the business. So
wow, I didn't know that piece. First of all, thank you for that incredible story. And now just a brief moment to hear from our sponsors.
Hey guys, this is Jeff Van Nostran. Have you ever been talking to a client that came to the conclusion that they were just going to wait to purchase a home? Wait for what? The forecast is that interest rates are going up. The forecast is also that housing prices are going up. So what exactly are we waiting for? The client says, well, I'd really like to save a bit more money for my down payment. Or, I don't want to pay $2,000 to break my lease 6 months before it expires. Okay, so the alternative is you wait 6 months and the price tag of that same home is $20,000 or more higher. Did it make more sense to break the lease for $2,000, or do you want to pay that higher price tag? Furthermore, if interest rates go up, the cost of borrowing money is more expensive. So I really think those clients need to think long and hard about making some sacrifices to make home ownership happen sooner rather than later. I'm Jeff Van Nostran. I'll see you next time.
Hey everybody, I'm Charlie Garber with Fixated Real Estate, and I'm going to be talking to you about the Pacific Northwest Big Badass Real Estate Wealth Expo. Last year blew us away. We had over 30 vendors, 500 registrations. It was an amazing 2-day event. This year, going to be even better. We're going to have over 60 vendor sponsors, speakers from all over the United States that are doing it. None of this guru crap that's out there. You're talking about real investors kicking ass in real estate, from multifamily, single family, commercial, buy and hold investors, fix and flip guys like me. They're going to be there. And if you need to learn how to raise money, if you need to actually go find people to get money for your next deal, then this is the event you want to be at. It's 3 days, April 27th, 28th, 29th in the greater Seattle area. Don't miss out, and I'll see you at the Pacific Northwest Big Badass Real Estate Wealth Expo coming to you in April.
Welcome back. So you say that your team approaches life and business with a mindset of abundance. Mm-hmm. Can you talk to us a little bit more about that?
Yeah. Especially, I think for everybody in life, you're either going to have an abundant mindset or a fear-based or lack-based, a mindset of lack.
Sure.
Either it's the classic, is the glass empty, is it full, which is it?
Yeah.
We are very focused on seeing everything, including our failures, as an opportunity to grow, to learn, and to get more. When we have, as in a team environment specifically,
yeah.
It can become very toxic, where it's like, why did that person get the lead, or why didn't I get it?
Yes,
he gets the good leads, I get the bad leads.
I've worked in sales in one capacity or another my entire life, and I totally understand where you're coming from on this.
So it's easy to say we're gonna have a mindset of abundance.
Sure.
The other missing aspect to it is that the leader in the business has to actually provide an atmosphere that's conducive to abundant opportunity.
100%.
When you have done that, it doesn't mean that everyone just, here's a deal, here's a deal, here's a deal.
Yeah.
But it's abundant opportunity.
Yeah.
There's no way that a determined, gritty, self-motivated person can show up in our business and claim any kind of lack of deal flow or opportunity.
Yeah.
From anything. And so it's become one of our leading core. It's become one of our leading core values.
Wow.
that we live by, we screen for, we interview for.
Sure.
And when you really get clear on your core values, the coolest thing about it is that issues pop up. I mean, human beings, even in a no drama environment, there's still something. Like, people are people.
People are people.
And when you can come back to, hey, look at the wall right there. The core value wall is there.
Yeah.
Are you approaching this problem with the mindset of abundance, or are you hung up on this one deal you've just lost?
Right.
While over here, there's another 7 you're ignoring. And if you could just pull yourself up, go get those 7, there is opportunity out there.
That's fantastic. Now, love this conversation. Love where this is going. How does that impact how you approach clients? Now, I understand that you have a flexible commission model.
Mm-hmm. Well, as far as how it impacts clients, because you're right, core values aren't just for how you're going to treat your team.
Sure.
but also how you're going to treat vendors and your clients.
Right.
So it's a great question. With clients, it's not about squeezing everything we could possibly squeeze out of them in one deal. It's about, let's have a win together on every deal we do. And
that's huge. A win together.
Yes.
And so often in this market, because of what we do, I interview a lot of people, and I think sometimes people take the approach of me. How can I get more, right? And with your approach, which he'll go into in a moment, I love that because it's truly a win-win scenario.
Well, what happens is agents are programmed to go get their 3%, right? Or their whatever it is.
I'm worth it.
Whatever their number is just their number. Versus being programmed to go and collect every dollar. Okay, I'm not like just purely altruistic, like, hey, like I'll work for free. No, that's not me. I'm not a capitalist.
Yeah, right.
But long-term sustainable business is built on treating your clients also with the mindset of abundance, that if we could do great together today, if I don't charge you one penny outside of the direct value provided to you through my services, you're going to recognize that and we're going to do more business. You're also going to refer me.
Absolutely.
And so that's when you ask about the flexible commission structure, it's built not to say, here's what we charge because it's what we charge, irrespective of the value rendered.
Sure.
Because let's face it, some deals are different from other deals. And the buyer shows up from different sources. And so instead, what the flexible commission structure is built to do that we now use and our clients love is it's built to never have value out of alignment with compensation. The two have to be in alignment. As soon as compensation starts exceeding value, you're in a short-term business because people will see through it.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. That's wisdom right there and a great business strategy. There's a lot of talk around the future of real estate. Many see the team model as taking over. What do you see as the biggest opportunity for team leads in the future?
The team model is absolutely, this ties in so much into just what's going on in brokerage.
Sure.
Okay? The entire model is changing. And that individual agent that just takes such great pride in doing every aspect of the transaction from start to finish without anyone's help, because they're the best and no one can do it as good as as well as they can, that's quickly dying out. And the reason why is that the teams that are out there, teams like mine, are exponentially growing their resources, their reach, their influence over the market versus what an individual can do. So as far as teams are concerned, they will survive. The big teams are going to do great. Okay. And the other disruption that we see is that the traditional model where you just have an agent that's just paying indefinite amounts of dollars to their brokerage, irrespective actually of the value the brokerage provides to them.
Sure.
Same concept, right?
Sure.
That's going away completely.
Okay.
That's going away. The team is going to be where an agent has to live, unless they just truly go to like a completely different business model, like an extreme low fee, low discount type of environment.
Great. Well, your answer is a fantastic liaison to my next question. Last question is, I understand that you recently left KW, Keller Williams, to go to EXP. Can you talk to me a little bit about that? Because you had so much success at Keller Williams.
Yeah, well, and for the record, I love Keller Williams. I think it's a great company. Gary Keller will always be one of the greatest influences on my career.
Good.
And we ran the #1 Keller Williams team in the entire Southern California region.
Really? Wow.
By GCI. It was the #1 grossing commission income team in Southern California, and yet we moved it to EXP. So why?
Yeah, why?
The primary reason is that as agents, when we look at our business, you have this one bucket of income. You sell a house, you get a check.
Sure.
And then you have to go sell a house and you get a check. And if you don't sell a house, you don't get a check.
Yeah.
So EXP became a vehicle through which we could go from one bucket of income to 3, where we could also tap into the equity share that we get by simply doing our job of selling houses. We get stock in a publicly traded company.
Wow.
And the revenue share opportunity, which is simply in that as we introduce people to EXP, we share revenue together. And it's not a matter of putting on a recruiting hat and like this, you're not turning into a recruiter, which is what every person out there, there's a lot of people scared of this concept.
Right.
Other brokers scared of it because they're watching their agents go.
Okay.
Because it's the fastest growing brokerage platform in America. That's not the case. The case is continue selling houses. Focus on selling houses.
Right.
But when you realize that the financial model completely incentivizes everybody to help one another, this is turning into my mastermind. You have, like, on Friday, for example, we're going to have $600 million of producers on a panel pouring into the rest of the group.
Incredible.
So EXP became...
So just 1 second there. On Friday, can just anybody come? Is it online? Or where is this?
We're doing that. That's going to be, so we do online events, but this one's going to be in person.
In person, okay.
This is going to be a San Diego local event. We're going to do different events around the country. That one's in person. Having said that, leadership can be lonely.
Yeah.
Okay?
Right.
Coaching. Think about coaching. Why does coaching exist? Coaching, for the most part, exists because the old model of real estate is that you were in your, brick and mortar branch. You were there, and if most branches, there's like 5 people really doing something, and then everyone else is having coffee and chit-chatting about the weekend.
Yeah.
So you needed to hire a coach in order to have higher level conversations and to be held accountable and to work on mindset.
Yeah.
That has been completely replaced by having the right mastermind group. And at the end of the day, the vision we have, not just for EXP, but for our group, Fast Forward, this group that we call Fast Forward at EXP.
Oh, it's called Fast Forward. That's cool.
That's what we call our family.
Sure.
Let's call it, right, at EXP. Is that it's really a mastermind and coaching platform where you tune in to a massive producer on a weekly basis, coaching and training and having high level conversations that replace the need for external spend on traditional mindset coaching. And allows you to accelerate your business, sell more homes, with which by doing so, you actually are awarded stock. And as you're selling more homes, it grows your influence, so people are asking you about, hey, what's this EXP thing? Because it's the loudest conversation out there.
Yeah.
So I saw all of that. I saw what's happening in the brokerage community. I saw that the traditional model is completely going away. And the only thing that will survive will either be extreme high end, and then for the rest of the 95% of the market, it'll all be either who can provide the most value or who could just charge the least.
Okay.
And with this platform, we see an opportunity today that I equate to being invited into Keller Williams like in 1995.
That's a big statement.
Oh, yeah.
That's a real big statement.
Well, look at the people that have joined. And you're talking about Gene Frederick, who's come out of retirement. You're talking about Brent Gove. You're talking about Jay Kinder and Curtis Johnson and Kyle Whistle. These are, big names. Kurt Wanabo, $90 million producer a year.
Yeah.
Kyle did $200 million last year.
Wow.
What we see is it's KW 1995, and it's an opportunity that either will turn out to be phenomenal.
Sure.
And if it doesn't, think about this. What are we losing?
Yeah.
Other than that, we're getting stock and we're getting revenue share. Let's imagine that the naysayers are right and the whole thing falls apart.
Yeah.
We'll go sell houses at Keller Williams or we'll go or anywhere else.
Sure.
Because we're not being asked to do anything but do what we do, which is sell houses.
Interesting. Well, you heard it from Daniel Beer. Daniel, I wish you continued success, and thank you so much for being on the show.
Yeah, man.
And thank you for tuning in. Make sure you tune back next week. We'll see you again real soon.